We're live.
Hi,
So,
I'm Amber.
Single Sarah.
I'm Mark, and we're Untitled Nerd Network. We're live here at the Cosplay Yard Sale here in Eastridge, Tennessee, sponsored by Infinity. I can never do this right.
It's
Infinity
okay. There you
Flux.
go.
I just got to point at your boob. Just point at Amber's boob, and I'm pointing at the logo. There we go. So we're sponsored by Infinity Flux here in Hickson, Tennessee. And again, we're going to bring you another person from the yard sale here who is here to sell you their wares. So we have Cody Crook of the Traveling Merchants. They do. Tell us a little bit about what y'all do.
All right, so the Traveling Merchants, we primarily specialize in 3D printed costume props, some nerd memorabilia, that kind of thing. Our main goal is to provide cheap base products for costumers to build their own props off.
It's pretty cool. When he's talking about like geek items, he's got this really cool TARDIS and Dalek salt and pepper shaker that I've purchased from him that I like. Last year he had a whole bunch of the Pokemon Go medallions.
We still do.
Still have them here if you're still into Pokemon Go. But what's this you brought with you?
So what I brought today to kind of show off was a resin cast replica of Diva's pistol from Overwatch. The original model was 3D printed. Took about 20-30 hours to print. We sanded it down, went over it with some filler primer, and then made a silicone mold. Used some resin. This is a solid replica of Diva's pistol.
Feel this. Feel how heavy that is. Like you could like literally beat someone over the head with that.
Wow.
So if you take this gun and you're at a convention, if you're at a convention and someone is harassing you, you can beat them to death with it as defense.
Absolutely. I'm actually a really big fan of being as close to accurate as I can. So I wanted something that felt heavy, and having a resin cast item was the only way to really do that like I wanted to. On top of that, with it being resin cast, it's easy to sand. And one of our big focuses is we don't do a whole lot of finishing work for props. We print it out for it with as little cost and material labor as we can, so we can sell it for as cheap as possible. I don't know about you guys, but I can't carve that well. And there's no way I could ever carve a prop like this with this much detail. But if I can 3D print it, sell it to you cheap, and then you can sand it and paint it, and have something that's yours, that you finished up, at a cheaper price, and something that requires a little less work, that's kind of our goal. That's what we're shooting for.
So how long did it take to do that one?
So the original 3D print was about a 30-hour print, roughly, somewhere in that ballpark. Then we put about 10 hours worth of sanding and cleanup work into the 3D print model. Maybe not even that much. I'm kind of just giving it a ballpark estimate. Then we went through, used a silicone that we picked up from the engineer guy in Atlanta, and just made a 2-part mold. Filled that with some resin and let it cure for about 30 minutes or so. So I'd say all in all, if we add in the 3D printing time, we've probably got about 40 hours worth of work in there. And the finished product requires minimal finishing work, just along the seams where the mold is put together.
And so, how you're talking about your products are cost effective. How much does this item in and of itself sell for?
So Diva's pistol here, we would typically sell for about $40.
Okay.
That's actually the going rate right now.
About $1 an hour.
Something like that, yeah, roughly. We don't really look at it quite in that perspective, simply because the initial 3D printing investment. That's a one-time investment, right? I don't have to do that every time.
Yeah. You just do more mold.
Exactly. Even the sanding and everything, that's a one-time investment. It's a large investment up front as far as like the money for the silicone, the money for the material or whatever. That's a little bit of an investment, but at that point we can put out replicas fairly easily and fairly quickly, so we can price it at a lower rate for our customers.
And so let's say someone comes out here to the yard sale this weekend and they buy this prop from you. What kind of paint would they use to paint this? Like, how would they go about painting it?
You can use almost anything. So, excluding maybe watercolors, you could go out to Walmart. This is what we will usually go through and tell people if they want to get just something quick and clean. You can go out to Walmart, buy a can of Pylon primer, spray this thing down in primer, maybe scuff it up a little bit, go over it with another can of Pylon. In, I guess for divas, you would have like hot paint, I think. I haven't actually painted one yet myself. And there you go, you're set. About any kind of paint that you want to use, you can. Rattle cans, although of course if you want to get a nice bit of detail, buy an airbrush, use some hobby paints, maybe some acrylics, go over it with a nice black wash for your detail work. It's all up to how much detail and how much work you want to put into it, and how much of this you want to be your work.
Exactly. All right. So plug the site. You got a website, right?
Yeah. So we have a Facebook page. We are the Traveling Merchants. That's the company name. We also have an Etsy under the same thing, the Traveling Merchants. We have an Outlook email. If you just feel like you got to email us, it's the-traveling-merchants@outlook.com. And that should pretty well pull it all up. And
ladies, y'all got any questions for our lovely friend Cody?
No, I don't think so. Awesome.
All right. Well, Cody, we thank you for being on the show with us.
Thank you so much for having me on. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And so once again, this is Mark.
Single Sarah.
And Cody Crook.
We're here from Untitled Nerd Network. We're live broadcast by
Infinity Flux.
Sponsored by Infinity Flux in Hickson, Tennessee. We are at the Cosplay Yard Sale right here. We're going to be here live all weekend. And feel free to come by and check us out. And if you subscribe to the channel, you get entered into a drawing for August's Loot Crate. If you're not here watching at home and you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel. Send us a screenshot on our Facebook page, and we'll get you entered into the drawing. If you come out here, just show us your phone that you subscribed. We'll let you fill out a ticket and put it in the box. All right.